And of course, George Floyd's family reacted to what happened. And they reacted as I would think any family in their position would react.
Finding Derrick Chauvin guilty.
Yes! Just like my brother had his hand behind his back. Just like he had his hand behind his back. Holla at you.
You can see it being led away there in the courtroom. He had been held on bail. You heard the state.
Why haven't they come to us yet? Why haven't they come to us? We don't need to hear art talking.
Which is exactly what the judge decided to do.
Oh my God.
You can see the counts up on your screen right now. The jury deliberating yesterday afternoon. And then began deliberating again early this morning, but it was
I feel like heaven is standing on my shoulder. My brother got justice, and that's very rare and few. As many times this has happened.
Justice has been served
to people of color.
He
didn't deserve that.
For a second.
He didn't deserve none of it. And I'm so glad. I just thank the Lord, my mom, and my baby brother, since the day he was born. I just miss him so much. I'm so hurt right now. God, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And when I watch this man being handcuffed in court, behind his back, just like they did my brother. He's not in control anymore. He has no power. But my brother do. My brother do. And I love this so much.
You said that you wanted all three charged up and that's what happened.
I'm going to pray for him. That man, I'm going to pray for him. I'm going to pray for him.
He's saying I'm gonna pray for him too. Get the fuck Voss stream? I don't know why the Voss stream is in here. Anyway. And he finishes that off by saying I'm gonna pray for him too. Gotta be an amazing human being. Fucking say that after all that he's put his family through. Because it's not just the murder, right? The murder of George Floyd. But he had to relive it every day as the George Floyd story was played in the media, was played in all these arenas, and to relive it every day. It's a living hell. And he's still gonna pray for him. That is amazing. So, anyway, once in a lifetime thing in the United States, justice was served. But there was a certain section of politics on this site and around the world that was not very happy with this decision. Not happy at all, really, actually. And they got pissed. You saw it on the 4chan message boards, you saw it on Facebook, you saw it on Twitter, you saw the conservative hosts getting, lashing out, it was wild. We got some highlights from people getting angry at justice being served here.
Members of the jury, I understand you have a verdict. Count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony. Find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to is 20 years.
Okay, let's go through these one at a time. Okay, so the first one is cops need to resign en masse now. Okay, so as a protest of what? Justice being served? We can't even murder anymore? What's the point here, Tim? Tim Fool, eh? What's the point here? Why should they resign? If you are a decent police officer, somebody who believes that a human being lives matters, why would you, looking at this, say, wow, I need to resign. Can't even murder black people anymore. If this makes you want to resign, or if this pisses you off as a cop, then you should have never been a cop to begin with. Because God, giving somebody a gun who gets angry when murderers go to prison, when they're supposed to be the ones locking up murderers, no wonder the other 3 cops stood by and did nothing. Oh my gosh. Liberty Hangout Project. Justice is dead, and so is this country. An innocent man was just convicted of murder for a crime he never committed. You got no evidence of that. No evidence whatsoever. There's a reason at the ending, during the ending of the trial, the defense was literally talking about space aliens and just describing what innocence means. There's literally video of George Floyd overdosing, and the cops accommodated at criminals every single request. He's really every single request? Do you mean like, please, I can't breathe? Oh, do you think he should have said, good sir, could you please remove your neck from the back of my, could you please remove your knee from the back of my neck? I am suffocating to death, good sir. Is that what you expected? Is that what needed to be said there? Because it didn't look like they were accommodating to every request. It's fucking strangling him. Justice is dead, and so is this country. Oh, I already said this. So when is Derrick Chauvin's white privilege supposed to start kicking in? Oh, it kicked in immediately when none of the other cops did shit when he was killing George Floyd. His white privilege is kicking in when people like Caitlin Bennett is still defending them. White privilege doesn't mean nothing ever happens to white people. They never get sent to jail. They never get shot. That's not what white privilege means. Caitlin Bennett, of course, a stereotype of herself. If you're a white police officer in a city, you should quit or move to a rural district. You could be next. What a horrifying scenario for a cop. Did you know that if you murder people, there's a small chance you could go to prison? Dun. Breaking. Derrick Chauvin found guilty of killing the only man who died of something other than coronavirus in the year of 2020. Think that's a joke? Bad joke. George Floyd's death will go down as the most consequential drug overdose in history. Please prove it in court. He never had a chance. Is this one just angry that black people have a voice? I think this one's just angry that black people were on the jury. Oh my god, I can't believe black people and women can speak. They have a say. Do you think that maybe like having black people on the jury is important? And the person in question who died was a black person? Of course, Fuentes tweeted that. Not a surprise whatsoever. So what did they think happened? So I mean, you know, Nicholas J. Fuentes. So what did the black people just like out debate all the white people on there? Like, we know that he's innocent, but we just want to throw him away because we're black and angry. Is that like the scenario that Fuentes thinks happens here? That they were able to convince every other white person on that panel with just overwhelming tidal wave. Of just white guilt. It just washed over them and consumed them into throwing apparently an innocent man away. What's this supposed to prove? And we all know, okay, so if the question is that when black people get killed, it has to only be white panels that try them. So going forward, when white people get killed, should it just only be black people who are on the juries of those trials? How are we doing this? We all know, CNN's Don Lemon, justice has been served. We all know he would have never said this had the reverse verdict had been reached. Well, yeah, because George Floyd was murdered. It'd be like if Hitler went to court and then the court said, oh, you're guilty of nothing. Yes, we would not say justice has been served because justice was explicitly not served. That person is still free. Yes. Almost like there's a huge difference between a murderer going free and not. True. Like this motherfucking play. The jury was tainted. Fox News has left this rag. Wait, what was the one that was just said? I'm not having a fit. Just upset that a cop doing his job, taking down a drugged criminal, is going to jail is just plain wrong. Okay, I don't know how this works, but if I smoke a blunt, if I decided to smoke a blunt right now, that doesn't give cops the ability to come into my room and just go bam, 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 and blow my brains out and be like, well, drugs. It's not how that works. We don't allow cops to just run over anyone who's jaywalking. As far as I know, we don't have Duterte as our president, where we just kill drug users on sight. A lot of the people telling conservatives to cope because the justice system is a pile of shit are the same people who believe being misgendered is literal violence.
Occurred is occurred.
Imagine being like, oh, a black man was murdered and the guilty person was put away? Well, what about misgendering? Got him. We make the innocent men ride the lightning. I still am not over the fact that that cop pulled over a lieutenant and then threatened to make him ride the lightning when he hadn't broken a single law. That still baffles me. I bathed in this. Wait, deepfake alert, deepfake alert. Chauvin verdict reading confirmed to be a deepfake by AI software. Nothing you just saw was real. There is no way any juror could convict after seeing the evidence. Well, apparently all of them did. Deepfake, just deepfaked. It's all deepfaked. And we'll never know the truth, and Derrick Chauvin shall change identities and go off to Mexico and live the rest of his days being praised as the white man who stopped the crime. God, man. Do you think that if this person's wife went and had sex with a bunch of other people, or husband, who knows, and then the person got footage of it and confronted their partner, and they just went like, no, that's a deep fake by the deep state. Like, don't believe it. You just have to accept it. I mean, that's a lot more probable than this actually happening. Obvious meme? I don't know. The thing is, we could say this is a meme. This is a 100% a meme. We don't know that. And the reason why is 4chan is full of some of the most dim-witted brainlets in the century. Just it's the hardest concentration of that. And there's people there who don't believe the Holocaust happened, which is a ridiculous thing to believe, but there's people there who believe that. So if you're willing to deny the Holocaust, is it really that difficult to believe that they just think this was like big ass deepfake? You never know. There's no irony anymore. Flat Earth is another thing, another example. And we see on modern day debates, flat Earth debates almost every day of the week. So white males on the jury were all selected to be self-hating and drank lots of onions before the verdict. Wait, that thing I was proposing earlier, that the black people just like suspect just threw a ton of white guilt at the white people and that's what made them flip. They actually believed. They do know that like black people like can be murdered, right? Like that's a thing that happens. And cops can do it because cops have guns and force and violence. We all saw it on footage. We all saw it on tape. The thing is, wouldn't it easier? The thing is, these are like open racists anyway. Wouldn't it be easier for them to just say, instead of like it was deep faked or all the people in jury was white guilted or whatever, just be like, Yaris are murdered and we don't care. I feel like that'd be an easier way for the right for these hardcore racists to go, right? It'd be easier. It'd be a lot easier to like explain what you believe about the Chauvin trial than like the deep fake or the white guilt or the misgendering or any of this other nonsense. No fair elections, no fair trials, no marriageable women, no security, no fun. Okay, so is the fun the murdering the black people? No marriageable women. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear that. You should give men a chance. For fun. Unless you want to die, then go ahead. Fuck off and die. No one will care. Will anyone on poll care? Sure, maybe, but that's it. No. He's going full Joker. Tucker is going full Joker. He's got nothing left. He's just collapsing under the pressure. Just completely collapsing under the pressure. No options left for him. He can't deal with the heat. He took this was a personal L to him. We should all be very considerate of Tucker Carlson. This must be a very personal loss for him to see a hero of his, Derrick Chauvin, go put behind, bars. That must really suck. But it is, I mean, I get like you gotta pivot out of it, Tucker, but it's kind of hard to pivot out of it right after the results of a trial. Right after the results of a trial, you pivot out of it. It's going to be pretty difficult when you have an actual cop trying to explain to you about excessive force. And you can't Joker laugh your way out of it.
But Fisher, come on, Ed Gavin, thank you. Nope, done. Thank you.
He ended the interview. He did a reverse Ben Shapiro when Ben Shapiro went on that British interview with that British conservative back in the day. Hey, just pulled a no comment chick. No comment chick and Tucker Carlson should get together sometime and talk about debate moderation, eh? What did she say? Since I'm trending over this interview, let's skip to the part where I don't apologize because I've never once been mobbed into a fake apology, liberals. George Floyd will never be the name that is synonymous with justice. He victimized too many people during his life. Okay. That doesn't matter. Literally, like any of his crimes don't matter. If you were killed unjustly, then justice should be done for you. I could have gone out and robbed a million stores in my life. Then I'm just doing my everyday stuff. Someone kills me. Wrong. A cop you just can't execute people because somebody has committed crimes in the past, Candace. Candace, did you jaywalk? Did you jaywalk, Candace? Can we now give every officer in a 10-mile radius like shoot to kill orders? Is that how this works?
No indication. Nothing was said out of Derrick Chauvin's mouth that, should insinuate that this was about being black versus white, but that's what the media ran with. And then they successfully hid.
You know what? She's got a good point. He never said he was racist while choking basically a black man to death. He never said openly he was racist while murdering a black man. Defenseless black man, He never said it openly. I actually don't remember Hitler ever saying the words, "I hate the Jews." Did he ever say that? Did Hitler ever say, "I hate the Jews"? Huh. Don't seem to have a quote here. I mean, he said a lot about mean things about the Jews, but he never said he hated them. This is like the redneck level arguments, right? When I say redneck, I mean the now banned streamer. Of like what it takes to be a racist. And even, let's say it had nothing to do with race. Let's say there was not a single racist bone in Derrick Chauvin's body. Who cares? He still killed someone. Would it have changed at all whether he was guilty if the person was Mexican, white, Asian? No, he still murdered someone.
Every piece of evidence that would have transformed public opinion, right? Every piece of evidence that would have said, wait a second, there's more here.
I love, it's just like the election. It's like there's so much evidence of election fraud. There's so much evidence the election was stolen. There's so much evidence that's flowing through. Look at all the affidavits. And then it's like, okay, will you present them here or show us all the evidence and make it clear? No. Oh. Maybe there was no evidence in the first place.
We're adjourned.
How ridiculous. Now we're going to go through a few more. Now, of course, Stone Toss, not very happy about the whole matter. Drew his little comic, probably crying, probably covered covered his keyboard in little salty tears. Fox News celebrating the guilty verdict. Yeah, because justice was supposed to have been served. Had to turn it off. They were mocking this man. All he did was kill somebody. They'll find Chauvin guilty so their houses don't get burned down. Justice is dead. The thing is, the odds that the people on the jury themselves, their houses specifically, would have been burnt down, like, I'm pretty sure there would have been, like, defenses, like, made available to them. And there is no evidence, by the way, and none of them have made public statements saying that they were scared of this happening and that's why they voted in that way. So until you have evidence of that being the case, you can't just say that. Rigged system, known hero, and an insurrectionist participator, Nicholas J. Fuentes. They are so mad. And you know what? Why are they mad? Because the system that is constructed is supposed to let shit like that pass on by. And if it wasn't for the cameras and the people that put a light on the situation, there would have never been no justice for George Floyd. Never would have happened. There just would have been a police report about a dude who resisted arrest and then died. That's it. Nobody would have went to prison. There would have been no trial. Let's actually, so I actually have the clip. I just wanted to see it again. I know we just saw it in the compilation, but it is basically there is a New York corrections officers who's basically saying, yeah, Derrick Chauvin used excessive force, and this is how Tucker Carlson decided to react. The scene has never been the same. Poor fella. All we know is he would never. Oh, we already. All we know is he would never have said this had the verdict been reached. And fucking Hasanabi with the nuclear levels of ratio, 179,000 to 15K. Like, that has to have been a war crime in some countries. Like, oh my god. Like, this is cyberbullying. Hasanabi should be reported for cyberbullying at this point. It is so unbelievably brutal. Now, this guy did a real unique thing. So, on Fox News, obviously saying that, like, Derrick Chauvin should be free. You can't say that on Fox News. That's a very, you know, it's not a very popular opinion in the general public, and, you know, it'd probably get them in a lot of trouble. So instead, what this guy said is that he's glad he was found guilty, even if he wasn't guilty, because then the whole country would be burnt down. Which is basically a way of saying that, like, no, hey, the mobs are violent, and at the end of the day, let's throw him under the bus. I mean, he might have been thrown under the bus anyway. I'm not saying he was thrown under the bus, but if he was, that's a good thing. I'm not saying he was thrown under the bus, but if he was.
Just get really selfish. I'm glad that he was found guilty on all charges. Yeah. Even if he might not be guilty of all charges. Oh my God. I am glad that he is.
Did you hear that immediate reaction from the other Fox News hosts? Oh my God, no, don't do this to us, please, don't do this to us. We knew today was gonna be difficult. We're not gonna be able to throw our Chauvin is free party, but now you're just making it worse.
He's guilty of all charges because I want a verdict that keeps this country from going up in flames.
You can't just sacrifice people to, like, placate the public.
Oh my goodness.
No. What do you mean?
Look, Greg, listen.
What do you mean? No, I'm at least being honest. My neighborhood was looted. Greg, I don't ever want to go through that again.
We do not sacrifice individuals for the sake
I'm
of
saying he's
how
guilty.
people feel.
I'm saying I'm glad about the verdict.
Oh my God. He is very not glad about the verdict.
I gotta tell you, I heard Greg a few minutes ago, and I got to tell you, I don't know, Greg is off his meds if he believes that there was not evidence.
Excuse
That's
me?
what I'm saying.
What did you say?
This is a man who's very not mad and very happy.
Excuse me? What did he say? Am I off?
He's so happy. Doesn't he sound happy?
You're
lucky you're not around here.
Let me finish. If you do not believe that there was evidence that was supported to support these charges, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to tell you. This judge, as Janine said, conducted a fair hearing.
That is not what I said.
I'm not finished. As Martha said,
You are finished.
Due process actually worked in this case. And when you look at a police officer with his knee on a man's neck, battering, pushing down on that man's neck, that man is calling for his mother, calling out for the community, calling out, saying he couldn't breathe. And the police officer didn't have enough in him to take his
Ted, if I could
hands
interrupt.
off the neck.
Totally not mad at all. Oh, and the thing is, if you think it was just the Republicans and the right that had some pretty yikes reactions to this, Speaker Pelosi decided to come out with the worst possible quote in this time. Thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice. Because of you and because of thousands, millions of people around the world who came out for justice, your name will always be synonymous with justice. He didn't sacrifice himself. He was murdered. If I'm walking down the street and I'm like raped and then they catch the rapist and send him to prison, you can't say thank you for sacrificing yourself. I didn't go out there wanting to be raped. Just because this person was put away, we had justice in that instance, doesn't mean he sacrificed himself. George Floyd didn't want to be murdered. He wanted to spend the rest of his life with his children and with his family. It was not a sacrifice. How do you take this moment where the right is just freaking out and you can just let them destroy themselves and look terrible and manage to say the most tone-deaf thing possible? He didn't sacrifice himself. He was murdered. Don't worry. Pelosi straight up basically did what this... Oh, have you guys ever seen this clip? I saw this tweet out by Jordan, and this is pretty fucking accurate.
Is in honor of George Floyd. And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
This kills me every time.
I have a dream that one day...
It's so unbelievably tone deaf.
Is in honor of George Floyd. And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
In the American dream. I have a dream.
It's so bad. How can you be so tone deaf? How are you that tone deaf? I'm sure their family really appreciated the shout out. Oof. Oh, that one hurt.